Hello, 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 y'all. Welcome. It's nice seeing you all here. Looks like we have a pretty nice group today. Hey, Shem. Welcome. It's nice seeing you again. Haven't seen you yet this week. Hey, Green Yoshi. I am now realizing that I say we have a nice group because when I last looked, it was in the 20s. Okay, no, it is. It is. Okay. My Twitch viewer numbers, for those of you who've seen me before, are always slightly wrong and off based on the way that Twitch integrates with OBS. So for a sec, I was like, oh, wait, do we only have... Yeah, the numbers are always weird. Anyway, it's nice to see you all. Hey, Shrey, welcome. I am really excited about what we are going to be doing today, because literally I finished writing the code for yesterday's, like when we were doing yesterday. For those of you who are there, you know that I went right until the very last minute frantically writing code because of just like how excited I was to finally understand asynchronous functions and be writing things. Usually my projects are janky but functional, and this time the jankiness was interfering with the functionality. So thankfully, now we are writing code that is much less janky. We're actually using best practice. LOL, yes, you are on beast mode. I mean, thank you. I appreciate that. I had fun with it, though. I literally... Is janky spelled with a J? Yes, I think so. Right? I might be missing. There might be a joke there that I'm missing. I literally called my brother after that stream because he is another computer scientist, and he is the only person that I knew in my life who I could talk to about how excited I was about finally understanding async functions. That like all of my friends and like my roommates would just be like, I'm happy for you. No joke, genuinely interested. I like words like that, like wonky. Yes, indeed. I might be a little bit more frazzled than I am usually. I worked until 4 and then I ran and needed to pick up my car from the shop. So that's why I was a couple minutes late. So I'm coming right off of a day of work, but I'm so excited to be here with y'all. And I'm excited for this project to be working. For those of you who don't know, we are creating a Twitch control panel because there are Twitch channel point rewards, which currently are not working. But there are Twitch channel point rewards that only work on my stream, but they show during every stream. So I can see that some people were redeeming them, and then they didn't get any response because the person that was like running the stream couldn't see that they had redeemed it. So we're creating something that I can put into my OBS, into my stream setup, that is a button that I can press to start and stop the channel point rewards. So if we run npm run dev, we can take a look at what we've built so far. We can see that we have this interface that says channel points are, and then on or off, we're getting to the point of this reflecting the actual state of the channel points. And then we have a create channel point rewards or create channel rewards button so that we can automate the creation of them. Shem, is that why my channel points are almost double right now? I think I refunded you for your last Rickroll when I reset all the channel points. So I think you got a Rickroll for free in there. But yeah, so currently we are asynchronously interacting with, if we look at our on mount here, we get our tokens from Twitch asynchronously, and then at the beginning on page load we get the reward, or yeah, we get the status of the rewards. And the nice thing here is that we have, because we're using Svelte for our front end, an if access token. Basically, if we don't have an access token yet, the buttons won't show. So the front end, if we refresh the page, you'll notice the header shows up before the buttons. The buttons wait to load until we actually have tokens to be able to interact with the Twitch API. So when you click this, you'll know that it actually works. So what we were working on when we left off. Oh, thanks, 404 will be pleased. He will. Oh my goodness, more Rick rolls are in my future, but not right now. Don't redeem it right now because all the channel point rewards are broken. Oh, what we were working on was this, get reward status. Where basically we were trying to iterate through all of the rewards, and if more than 75% of them were active, I wanted to show the on button as the current state as highlighted, and if less than 75% were, I wanted to show the off button as the currently active state. So for some reason, oh, there we go. Okay. Console.log uncaught in promise type error. Rewards list up for each is not a function. So this is in get rewards probably right here. Hello. Selencarb. Welcome. Rewards list. Ah. I think I need to add an await there because the promise, it was a promise rather than a list. Unless, wait, we're going to load this because I actually think it might be that it is in the form of an object and we need to go one layer deep in order to get to. What's wrong with you? No payload for this request. I'm going to comment this out for now. Hey, Common, welcome. Okay. We're going to do this. We run the get rewards command. Okay, which has an error. Get tokens, create all channel rewards, create single, get reward status, get rewards. Oh, it doesn't actually have a body. Wait, but this one didn't either. We got a 401 error. What's a 401? Hey, Pharaoh, welcome. Let's take a look at the docs. We're looking for get custom rewards, and we got a 401 error. 401 OAuth token is not valid. What are we building? We are building a Twitch control panel, basically an interface where I can turn on and off all of the channel point rewards at once, so that they aren't active when I'm not streaming, because if it is redeemed on anyone else's stream, it doesn't actually show up. Hey, Jackson, welcome. Ah, I know what's happening here. It was running this and this before we had actually gotten our tokens. Unreachable code after return statement. Oh, I added a console log after a return. What I'm actually going to do is I think that that code will still work. So we're going to test it all at once, which I know is not necessarily the smartest. Farah, I'll read that in one sec. Rewards list up for each is okay. Okay, so it is an object. And then we need to go one into that object. To data. And then data is an array. So what happened here is we're doing rewards list.forEach, but it should be rewards list.data.forEach. So that we are not iterating over. Hey! That is... It should be showing true, but it is showing something, which is progress. Farah, I've not been following these sessions closely. Is a project such as this one that requires special permissions from Twitch? It does not require, so it does in the fact that we need to authenticate using an OAuth token, because you can only edit this like logged into your own account. It isn't publicly accessible, but it isn't special permissions. Like you could set this up with any account. The one thing is channel point rewards are only available to Twitch channels that are partner or affiliate like level, which is not something that is super easy to get. So MLH thankfully has it, but if you were to try doing this with like a personal Twitch, it wouldn't work out that way. So it's saying off, false, when we can see that they're on. If active rewards okay. We don't want to return, we want a console log. $11. Wait, so if we know that we've gotten 11 active rewards, let's try this again. Hey! And it's showing correctly that the channel point rewards currently are on, which is wonderful. So let me explain what we just did there. Let me get rid of our console logs. So what this means, what we've just done is whenever this page loads, it uses the API to look at all of these different channel point rewards and checks to see their current status. And if more than 75% of them are on, it updates the switch for on to be the one that's highlighted with purple. So now what the next step is to make it so that when we click on one of these, we turn them off and we switch. But this means that I know that this screen right here will always be an accurate representation of what the points actually are, like in terms of from your guys' perspective. So let's take a look. What we have, for those of you who weren't here yesterday, we have two files here. We have old app, and this is janky as heck. This is before I was writing this using asynchronous functions, which this needs to be written asynchronously. Like, we are doing asynchronous things. And then app right here is our actual, like, cool, new, good asynchronous functions, like actually well-written code that is reliable. So the next thing that we need to do is we have this update reward. Yeah, this update reward function. And I believe that is it. Okay, we're going to write two functions. We're going to write update reward, and then we're going to write a function that helps us edit all of the functions at once. Or all of the channel point rewards at once. But this is where we start. Oh wait, this isn't everything. I missed that part. There we go, okay. I'm just changing this because currently I have in the front of every single one of these let auth bearer, like this code right here. And we're just going to get rid of that and make sure we use our asynchronous code to update this correctly. So on mount, after we've loaded tokens, then we will run this. Great. So update reward, where we pass in a reward ID and whether or not it should be active. Okay, so we just need to change this down here. Actually, wait. Yeah, so this function needs to be an async function. And then we're going to await let response. So that's where we'll get our response. And then let data equal await response. This is after we've now gotten our response.json. We're making it a JSON. And then we're going to console.log our data. And now we can get rid of this. So this is our function. And it doesn't return anything. Actually, yeah, I think this is all that we need. And now we can go into Yeah, okay. I'm going to copy this code and we'll use this. I think now we're all set to work with this. These are functions that are called on button press. So we first await get rewards. And we let rewards equals await get rewards. Await expressions are only allowed with async functions. Is get rewards not async? There we go. Okay, so these need to be asynchronous functions as well. Let rewards equal await get rewards. Great. And then await rewards dot for each and it should be rewards dot data. For each reward we're going to update reward element dot id. No, it should be reward dot id because that's what we have here. Reward dot id. And this is our turn on function, so we'll pass in true. And we're going to await this. Await. Actually, I think that's fine. And then we want to call the same thing that we called here. To update our buttons. And if I copy this and I paste it here, and we just change this to pass in false, that should turn them all off. With that, let's test it. So if I refresh the page, we see that it's loaded the tokens, they're on, and if I click off, and then if I click on, and then I click on again. Okay. Thinking. So we know that this code is working. The problem is just that the user interface is only updating the second time around because this is running before that finishes running. Okay, I know what we're gonna do. So we are going to create another function that is going to be called like async function update all rewards. And all that this is going to do is run this. But now what we can do is we can do update all rewards dot then, and then inside that dot then we get the reward status. So we make sure we wait for it to finish running before we actually update our code. Argument of type promise void is not assignable to parameter type value. Ah, I understand. The dot then, I forgot to add a lambda function to it. There we go. That's what we need. Great. And now I can copy this. What did I call it? Should be active. Because currently it would only set things to true. But now I can take this, I can copy it down here and set it to false. And if I hit save and refresh the page, we can see that they are on. I click off. They are off, which means that that part's working, which is wonderful. Our user interface didn't update the way I expected it to, but it is working. What I might end up doing... See, what I could do is I could just hard code it so that when you click the off button, the button switches to off. But then if it were to error out, I wouldn't know. Dot then. Oh, I have created an extra function when we do not need it. Because I could have just used dot then. So let me replace this with that. Hey, that's actually what we're looking for. Okay. Let rewards. Wait. There we go. Okay. Copy this. This is now false. To turn them off. Let's try this again. We see that this updates successfully. Channel points are off. Click this on button. Uncaught promise. Type error rewards.data.for each is undefined. Who sees the UI? The streamer? Yes, this is for me and only for me. $163 here. Yeah, okay. Await rewards. Dot data. I love the color scheme for the UI. Thank you. It is the default for Svelte. I did not actually... Well, I guess I chose the purple. How can you give me that error but still work? Okay, let me try that and see if that fixes the error. I don't think it should. Oh, it does. Okay. Okay, I was wrong. It doesn't need to be a function. I tried simplifying it when it didn't actually need to be simplified. Okay, if I save this, we refresh, channel points are off, I click this button, they turn on. I click this button, they turn off. Okay, great. So good news is that that's working. The bad news is that this is still not updating. Update all rewards, true. Then. That shouldn't change anything, but I'm just checking. You're joking, that fixed it. Okay, I just needed to make sure that the function actually returned something. Otherwise, the .then would just run immediately because the function, it wasn't waiting for anything anymore. So now, oh wait, I might have spoken too soon. Off, off. I click the on button. They're on. The user interface did not update. It did for a sec. Apology for not being in the first 3 streams, but how is this different from how you already had it set up in your streams? The problem is that I never turned them off before. They were just always on, so people could use them and try redeeming them in other streams. This is not necessarily to make my streams better, but to make it so that people can't redeem their channel points in other streams when they won't actually do anything. Which, this is a lot easier than me every time I stream remembering to open up a separate page and click 11 checkboxes. And also, I was wrong. This did not actually do anything. Okay, so this will make it so folks can't redeem points on other MLH streams. Got it, thanks. It won't necessarily, it'll make it so that I can turn them on and off so that folks can't do that. I might still forget, but there's no way that I can think of other than adding this in line with when I go live or not, which seems too automated. So it'll just make me more likely, especially when I have like a dedicated button showing this, to turn them off. So you'll be the port Redeemer Guardian? I will, yes. I'm just thinking here. How to call one function after another function finishes JavaScript. Oh. Doesn't the current code make it so that folks can't accumulate reward points when you have it turned off? So what I am turning off is the rewards, not the points. You will get points no matter whether the rewards are enabled or not. This is just each of the individual like buttons that you can press to say like good job or rickroll. So I'm adding those returns there because I think that that might... No, that's not causing the problem. What the heck? Again, all of our code to actually update things is working. The problem is that our code to then be like, hey, me take a look at our on mount again. Forward status. Sorry, I know that this is now just a lot of silence. I'm trying to troubleshoot, and I can't troubleshoot and talk at the same time. So the thing that I think is happening is our dot thens are always on this for loop, which completes before all of those have actually finished running. I really want to put a dot then on update reward, but we call that so many different times. We need to wait until all of the rewards are finished. Okay, I'm gonna try something. This does go slightly against some things that we've talked about. I learned about this. This is an open source project that puts a ChatGPT like window in your VS Code version, or like in VS Code. And I don't know how to Google to ask this question, so I'm gonna try using this tool. And we'll see. Okay. So we've taken that async function. Function after all of the update rewards functions are complete. You can use promise.all to wait for all the promises to resolve before running the next function. I did not know that that was a thing. Run the different async functions in parallel versus allowing the first one to complete. So what I am looking for is promise.all. Oh, I understand now. Okay. So this is an instance where I think that these sort of tools are useful, where I was able to look at my code and answer my question and give me a suggestion, but it is not actually making anything for me. This is now a learning experience about promise.all, where what I've done is I've created update promises, which is an array of all of this, and then promise.all update promises. What I can then do is run this, and this should work. Though it was created by an LLM, so we will see. Hey, that works. So we can see they're all on. I click the off button. Hey, they're all off. Amazing. And then we actually don't need this button anymore right now. That is a button that will be useful later, but this is really all that we need. And actually, I'm going to change this from a heading 1 to like a heading 4. Because it does not need to be that big. Heading 4 is way too small. Let's try a heading 2. Hey, okay. Let's try. Yeah, no, heading 1 is probably... No, heading... Okay. What we need to do now is we just need to host this somewhere. And then once it's hosted... Ooh, how do I host this? Okay, I think we're going to host this on Netlify. Yes, that should work. And then we will have a URL that I can stick into my OBS. The one thing is that URL... Not laughing, hosting issue again. Yes, I create some great projects and then it becomes like a, wait, how do we host? Where is this being hosted? I think I'm going to try hosting this on Netlify. Because we just need a website. Because I could have it localhost. But then I need to make sure that I run it every time. Actually, let's test it localhost first. And then we'll deal with hosting in a sec. So I'm going to grab my URL. And I'm going to go into my OBS. And we are going to, in docs, we're going to create a browser doc. And this doc name is going to be channel points. And then the URL is going to be localhost. We hit apply. We hit apply. There we go. So now we have this, which is in our OBS, and I can stick it there. I can put it there. And hey, okay. We'll need to change the formatting a little bit so that it's not centering itself like this. But if we get rid of this like padding around the outside, it'll work perfectly. And then it can just be a button that I have over here. So let's quickly go into our... We want this to be our CSS. Here we go. I'm going to get rid of that display flex and place items in the center. Get rid of the minimum height and width in the body. Hey, okay. So that's better. But it is still, we still have a lot of space around it. If we go into here and inspect. So it is our div of app, and it is our heading class that are our issues here. App. Get rid of the padding on app. Great. Now it is just on heading to getting rid of. Actually, that works. That's perfect. Max width. We honestly don't need that. If we take a look. It works perfectly. I click that button. They're all on. I click this button. They're all off. So now it's just a matter of taking this from localhost to hosting it on the internet so that I don't need to have this running in the background. So that whenever I open up OBS, it's just there. Well, this has been a very good, shockingly simple stream thus far. Don't want to jinx myself too hard, but this is exactly the result that we were going for. Something that is just now built into my stream setup, one of the many different widgets that I have available to me so that I can turn this on and off. And this enables us to, in the future, do crazier and crazier things with channel points because we know that people will see them as something that is unique and new rather than people having the bad experience of trying to spend channel points and then learning that it doesn't do anything and feeling like they've just done something that was a waste of time. So with that, let's now take a look at Netlify. So what I'm looking for is... Actually, yeah, let's just try it. I think it'll work. I have faith. Let me switch to my face while I log into this. I always feel bad when I see folks try to redeem their channel points on other streams to no avail. Me too. That's why this is the project that we're working on. Because I never want that to happen. Okay. So I'm going to send this project up to my GitHub. I could also have a github.io like site using this, but I already know how to use Netlify, so that's what we're going to use for now. Where I'm going to, in my repositories, create a new repository that is called channel points panel. It can be a public repo, yeah. Add a git ignore. That is... I think node is what we're looking for. Just as long as it doesn't show a .env. Hey, okay, it does not show .envs. Okay. I'm actually going to, though, download that file. And if I can delete it, I'm going to delete it. Yeah, delete file. What? Delete file. Commit changes. Commit changes. Do I have GitHub Desktop? Okay, I do not own GitHub Desktop. This is where I relied on GitHub had like a thing that was like, okay, here's how you can, here are the commands to run. Okay. So what I'm going to do is open folder. And I'm going to open this lower level folder. Great. Okay. And then here I'm going to create okay. Initiate a Git repo. Add them all. Great. And it shouldn't be first commit, it should be adding code. Great. Yeah, so the thing is that I don't have the quick setup page. A project such as this would not contain sensitive information within the code. No, all of the sensitive information is the .env file. I set that up very deliberately. Everything else is publicly accessible. I think you can initialize that repo in VS Code. I know I can. Here we go. It's git remote add origin. Great. What branch? There are no one branch called main. Okay. You have divergent branches. Oh, no. Oh my goodness. Fatal refusing to push. What is happening here? It should have one commit. Okay, we're installing GitHub Desktop. Unless it was covered earlier in the series, I would appreciate an MLH session featuring similar security measures as those taken in this project. It really is not that complicated. And it also... Oh, no! You are right. This is not ideal. There is a thing that... This does technically increase vulnerability slightly, so I am not the person to talk to you about this security, because I did it slightly wrong. That's in the jank phase of this project. It is good enough for this instance, and there's something that I'm going to do to be able to mitigate that, but it is not perfect, and I am not the person who... Like, to know what I know, just Google .env variable or environment variables for development, and you'll see that basically I just have a file that contains all of my like secrets and keys that Git ignores. The git ignore choices always confuse me too. I'd like to learn the differences between the git ignore templates. I also agree with that. I'm not the person to really know that as well. I knew that node would be the right one here, just because of brute force trial and error in the past. But also, you'll notice that I didn't actually need to do that because it already had a git ignore built in. Though I will say, this git ignore does not have .env in it. Gosh darn it. Okay. Okay. Let me install GitHub Desktop, which I do highly recommend. It's not necessarily as good as something like GitKraken, but for something that's free and open source. I believe it's open source. Okay. Add repository. Ugh. Okay. How do I actually... Oh no, is this using Vim? Save and exit Vim. It's not. What? I am. Oh my goodness. Oh, I hate Vim. WQ. Okay, so theoretically that's now merged. Oh, that was gross. I usually go to the icon on the left / source control. Oh, that's run debug. Source control. Oh, forgot about this. Thank you. That is much more convenient than GitHub Desktop. But that theoretically should have worked. So now if we go back to Netlify, because that's what we did this, start from a template. No. Import an existing project. Here we go. Deploy with GitHub. Adding my environment variables, which I can't show y'all for obvious reasons. Wait. So I can't show y'all this because it contains sensitive information. And by the looks of it, it isn't actually... I'm getting a 404 when I tried to load it. So this is getting deleted. We're going to try this again. Delete this site. Okay, I'm trying this again. Huh. That did not work. Okay. Let's try doing this through GitHub.io. I can screen share again. Okay. How to host a website on GitHub. GitHub pages. You get one site per GitHub account and unlimited project sites. Okay, project site. Start from scratch. So in the repository. In the repository, go to the settings tab. Pages. Branch. Main. Okay. How do I, wait, how do I do this? I have environment variables. Okay. What are you trying to do? So, okay. I need to set up GitHub Actions to use this. Or I need to do... So the problem is that... Oh! I know what I did. I need to build it first. Okay. Now let me try this again. If I go, add new site, deploy manually. And I open up the production and deployment. Wait, it's blank. Okay, I'm just gonna go, how to do...
Hey guys, so today I'm gonna very quickly show
Okay, let's try Vercel. Wait, okay. Netlify. Shem, I think you're on a pretty long delay, because I just got, you have to choose a branch, I think, from pages. npm run build. Should be dist. Okay. Now I'm going to hide this and add my environment variables. Okay. Deploy. Deploying. Site deploy in progress. Okay. So theoretically, this should be deploying using the correct build scripts and my environment variables. Hey! Okay, now if I click on. If I click off. They're off. Hey, it's working. Okay. So then I can just take this link and edit my doc in OBS. Docs, custom browser docs. Change this link to that publicly facing link. Close it out. And the project's done. Oh, I just unplugged my headphones. So that is, we have now written everything to work asynchronously. We have it hosted. We have environment variables. Everything is working. Now, it's time for the fun part, which is our next stream, which is tomorrow. Let me check when. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Bright and early. We're going to be going through and we're going to be redefining. Oh, no, we are not done. I take this back. We need to actually relink our channel point words, because currently if you were to click on any of them, they don't do anything. So we need to make sure that we fix that. So trigger fire is what we used for the what's it called? The Rickroll. Command name Rickroll. Save. Okay, now if I turn channel point rewards on and I Rickroll. Okay. Good news is that Rickrolling is working. So now it is just a matter of sound alerts, which are not currently working. My alerts. Oh no. I understand what happened here now. If I click add sound. Oh no. Okay.
Hey, cuppa, cuppa, hey, cuppa, cuppa, hey.
Okay, that's working. Sound Alerts wants you to use all of their tooling, which means that it does not work with our script. So let's try using trigger fire again. And just use sounds. Okay, so we will need to redo this work and upload our own sounds, which is fine. Pharaoh, just a warning, Dimmer, I will activate my Rickroll the instant I reach 25,000 points. I'm at 17.3k at the moment. Good to know. Bring Out the Goose is new. Bring Out the Goose has not been there in a long time. It used to be a reward that I turned off for a bit, but now it is back. So, okay. Why can't we modify an emote? Let me... Oh. Let me just turn these off. It's because MLH doesn't have any emotes. Great, okay. Because the emotes that you can use, like the goose, are done through 7TV, not Twitch. Okay. Let me tell you what is happening here. So, what we used to use, those two choices are gone now, thanks. I'm glad. I'm going to turn off channel points right now because they are not working. Yeah, MLH has disabled their rewards. Don't worry, you're still earning channel points. Great. Okay, everything is working. We have a successful project. We have this little dashboard that'll always be here that'll allow me to enable and disable channel points. The problem is that we could only enable or disable channel points that we created using our script. Hence why we had that button there earlier that was create channel point rewards. And because of that, can you add the tangent alert option? I'm writing that down for tomorrow. This is the stream that we are having tomorrow is us brainstorming new channel point words because the ones that we have are old and we will need to re-implement them anyway because Sound Alerts wants us to use their setup, which we cannot use with our script. So we will need to find our own sounds and implement them in Triggerfire. It basically replaces using two separate things to one thing that we are using both for Rickroll and for Sound Alerts. Okay, great. I've left a note there for myself for tomorrow morning. With that, we're done for today. We've accomplished everything that we've wanted to accomplish. We've written it without jank. We've learned about asynchronous functions. We have deployed it successfully. We've created a successful project that will be a part of every future stream going forward. With that, I'm going to figure out what the next stream today is. All right, Dimmer, great job. Thank you. It'll be nice tomorrow when the sound alerts are back so you can redeem. Good job. Okay. What is up next? Up next at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Time, which is in 23 minutes, Building Your First Android App Part 2 with Kari. So stick around for that. Until then, I'm going to be back actually tomorrow at 9 a.m. So come back for that, especially if you want a say in what the future channel point rewards on the stream are going to be. Which this is when we get to vote. We'll bring back some of the old classics, but we're going to be adding new ones like Tangent Alert. We can add more things like Rickroll. We can add a whole bunch of different things. We have a whole lot of options in front of us. Come back tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., which is when we're going to decide those. And then after that, still tomorrow, at what time is it? At 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Shem, you'll like this one. We are doing a stream on how to host things on a Raspberry Pi, where I'm finally going to be hosting the script that we wrote last month during Cloud Week, but didn't actually get to host anywhere. I'm going to be adding that into a Raspberry Pi, setting that up to run in the background, so our Streamlink aggregator will be running and working. So those are the two streams that are happening tomorrow, and the one that's coming up after this in now about 20 minutes is Create Your First Android App Part 2. Thank you all so much for coming. Veden, I'm so glad that you thought it was a great session. It was super fun interacting with y'all. I'm really proud of what we made. And until then, happy hacking. Bye, y'all.